Are you sick of all those weird ingredients in your pudding? Let's make our own. Hey everyone, welcome to Homestead Corner. I'm Ginny, and today we are going to be whipping up some pudding mix for the pantry. This is wonderful because you can make big, huge batches and you can seal it in smaller jars or large jars or however you want. None of this stuff is going to go bad in your pantry for years and years and years. As long as it's sealed up, it's going to be fine. So you can make big batches and have it ready, or you can do smaller batches, however you want. I'm just making a batch that we make for our family. We keep it in our working pantry, and that way we have chocolate pudding all the time. Whenever someone wants it, we can whip it up quick and easy. And this is the cook pudding. You have to cook this. It only takes a couple of minutes, really. Bring it up to a boil, simmer it till it's thick. That's it. Just keep stirring. Whatever you do, keep stirring. It's really simple and easy to do, and it's pretty basic ingredients. Instant pudding uses different kind of starches, so that is going to, they're not really things that you would have in your house on a regular everyday basis. You can buy them, but I think this is more affordable because it's things we already have, and we can just jump right in the pantry and whip this up. So we're just going to use some non-fat dried milk, sugar, some cocoa powder, cornstarch, and a little bit of salt. That's it. And we just need milk to make this. Let's jump in and get started. Okay, so we don't need any special tools for this. Just a big bowl, a jar to store it in, a whisk to mix it, and some measuring cups. So really simple and easy. I'm going to start off with my non-fat milk. I'm going to use Thrive because that's kind of have in the house, and that's what we like. So whatever kind you have is going to be fine. The whole fat or partially fat milks are going to go bad sooner. These non-fat milks definitely last a super long time in your pantry. So when they're sealed up airtight, you're going to be just fine. So we're going to go with 1 1/4 cups of dried milk powder. And so it's got that nice, yummy, creamy texture. It's going to be so good. And then we're going to add 2 1/2 cups of sugar. This makes a big batch. So it's a lot of sugar, but it's really not. It's more than a quart, but not quite a half gallon when we're done. So we got 2 1/2 cups of sugar. You only use a 1/2 cup of the mix to make your pudding. So there's 2 1/2. And then we're going to grab our cocoa powder. Any cocoa powder you have is going to work for this. And we just grab whatever we can on a good deal usually. And we're going to do 1 1/4 cups of cocoa powder as well. So there is our 1/4 cup. And then we're going to put a whole cup. There's a lot of chocolate in here, which is good. It's nice and chocolatey. Delicious. I love chocolate pudding. It's great filling for cakes, and you can squirt some inside your muffins and all sorts of stuff. You just put some whipped cream on it and have it for a snack too. Great to have. And then we're going to do 1 1/2 cups of cornstarch. And this is our thickener, so we want to make sure we've got that. And cornstarch is great because you just have to bring it to a boil and simmer it for a few minutes, and you can see it start to set up, which is wonderful. So 1 1/2 cups of cornstarch. And then we're going to do about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You don't need that much. So about 1/2 teaspoon, just put it right in there, whatever kind of salt you have. And brands, I'm not super brand specific. We use what we like, and so if it's on sale, then we'll definitely try another brand. And then we're just going to take our whisk, and we want to mix this really, really well so everything is combined. And that's it for our mix, really. Making the mix is super easy, and then you've got it on hand when you need it. And it's so wonderful in your emergency pantry as well, because it's good to have a little bit of comfort in there You don't want just rice and beans in your emergency food. It's good to have some other things so you've got variety, good nutrition, and, you know, a little bit of comfort and some fun. And when little Tommy's birthday comes up, you have got mixes that you can still make it special, even if you can't afford it at the moment. Okay, once you've got this all combined really nicely, looks just like that pudding in the box, doesn't it? Except there's only 5 ingredients here, which is wonderful. And I am sure it is a money saver because you only use a half a cup of this and all these things are pretty inexpensive. We're just going to put this in I put it in a half-gallon jar, and we use this in our regular pantry. I don't normally store this because we like pudding. We do like it, so we don't store too much of it, but you definitely can. You could put it in, I put it in pint-sized jars. That way you've got 4 batches in there, and it will be easier when you open it if you're not using it a lot. And you want it for those emergencies, then that would be perfect. And this makes more than a quart. That's why I use a half-gallon, but it doesn't quite fill the whole jar. That's okay. It still is perfect. So you've got that pudding mix ready to go. We're just gonna add milk. That's it. Okay, so we're gonna jump right over to the stove. And to make our pudding, I'm just gonna use 2 cups of milk, put it right in my pan. And I'm going to put my burner on a medium high, and we want to bring this up to a boil. So I'm going to add also a half cup of our chocolate pudding mix. And that is all you need. Everything is right in there. And we're just going to get a whisk, and we want to make sure we're breaking up all those clumps and get it ready to stop boiling. We're going to have to stick with this. Once it comes to a boil, you've got to stay right with it and keep stirring. But we want to get all of this melted in there so it is no clumps of anything. Okay, so we're almost to a boil, and you can already see this is starting to thicken, and you can feel it. You want to be really careful. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I don't want it to boil too hard. You can see the bubbles coming up while when I stop stirring it. If this boils too hard, it can stick to the bottom and scorch, you know, just like your regular pudding. And we just want to keep mixing this constantly on a simmer until it gets nice and thick and starts to coat your whisk. And then it'll be ready to get into your serving dishes or whatever you're going to do with it. Okay, so it's been, maybe 2 minutes, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. This does not take long at all. Once you see it start thickening, it thickens really quick. You can see it's pooling up in the bottom of the whisk. So we are going to turn this off and get it into our dishes. Okay, I'm just going to put this in one bowl because we are going to use some of this for a filling for a cake. But we just want to get that right in there. Yum. And then we just gonna let this cool down. That's it. Pudding is really super simple and easy. And that's it. I like to let it cool down on the counter. This is a beautiful pudding consistency. It is absolutely delicious. Nice and chocolatey. You've got easy pudding ready to go in your pantry. So just remember, if you want to store this for long-term storage, or if you want to store it at all, really, I would vacuum seal this or put an oxygen absorber in, or just make sure it is really airtight. And none of these ingredients are going to go bad in your pantry, which is wonderful. And it's ready to go. And I always write on my caps so I know what it is, what I need to do to make sure that whoever gets in here can definitely make it simple and easy. I love that. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Dig into that pantry and whip up something delicious.